People need to talk about death and care for it like the birth of a child.
What everybody would like is a magic purple pill that they could just take and go to sleep and not wake up, and it would be just lovely. And it's my sad duty to tell them that that doesn't exist.
Having at least a measure of choice and control as you near the end of life, that's a basic fundamental freedom. It's a civil right.
I think the reverence for life should include a reverence for how you decide to end your life.
Medical aid in dying should be an option for everybody. If I have it, it would bring me such peace of mind to know that I have that as an option. Will I use it? I'm not sure, but I want it as an option.
I'm here to support this bill because I went through a period of 4 years of battling pancreatic cancer with my wife. 4 years was a long time to live with that disease. A lot of infections, a lot of surgeries, a lot of chemotherapies, and finally she realized that she was not going to be able to turn it around.
He died in what I consider what I would call a bad death on hospice, mainly because his death was prolonged.
When you know someone is going to die, helping them pass more peacefully is not killing them. It's just not.
That's Laura. Sarah is 24.
I know how Jennifer feels. That frustration is why I'm doing this documentary on medical aid in dying. I saw my father suffer from the agonizing pain of spinal stenosis for more than a year.
Oh, I feel. I feel sick. Yeah. I'm not sick.
No one wants to see a loved one suffer, especially when you have so many good memories. The grandkids called him Pappy. We kids called him Dad. He had a wry sense of humor. He was kind and gentle, and he always said, "Ta det med ro," Norwegian for take it easy. Speaking of which, he was especially proud of his Norwegian heritage. Like a lot of people when they age, he developed several medical conditions, from atrial fibrillation to his greatest source of pain, spinal stenosis. He lived until the day before his 92nd birthday, thanks in part to getting the arteries to his kidneys stented to avoid strokes. He was in his early 80s then. A decade later, he ended up in hospice.
In the past, death was more sudden and came fairly quickly after an event, either an accident or, say, people used to die very quickly of heart attacks or strokes. And of course, infections have always been a way in which people died quickly. But what we do have now is people living longer, but those final years are more complicated by several medical problems and sometimes by symptoms that cannot be easily treated or go away.
Quality of life diminished and the back pain remained, so my father asked us 3 times to get him a gun. Get me a gun, I need a gun, I want to die. He wanted to end his misery, but I couldn't help him with his request. He languished for weeks. He was dying a slow, protracted death. But this wasn't Vermont, one of 10 jurisdictions that allows medical aid in dying. The 2 most recent states that passed the bill were New Jersey and Maine. Montana relies on a Supreme Court ruling that protects doctors from prosecution. But Dad was in Georgia, and just like Connecticut, there is no medical aid in dying law.